This is the Tackle Club COD box for May, and it's absolutely stuffed. It looks like it can barely hold everything in there. Let's jump in and have a look. All right, there's a lot of big baits in this box because it's getting much colder and the bites can slow down, but this is where big baits really start to stand out. So your bigger fish, they're gonna feed less often, but when they feed, they're gonna be looking for a bigger feed. So let's start off with the surface. I always like to start with the surface. So here we have the Spit and Wah by River to Sea. This is one of my favorite frogs to fish with when you're looking for a cut face popping frog. They're super easy to fish. Just cast it out into the snag and just slow pop, pop, pop until you get it back to your feet. These things have a super soft body and are completely weedless. That means you can be throwing this in all the nasty places where the big cod are gonna be sitting and hiding. Awesome, awesome fun to use these. Obviously a top water lure, so you're gonna be getting those top water strikes. So I'm thinking either heavy cover, early morning, light afternoon is absolutely perfect for a froggy treat for a hungry cod in these cold months. Now we're gonna stick with a soft plastic here. So we're gonna move over to the next one, which is the Power Bait Giant Ripple Shad. I've got this one here in the pike color. Now these are pre-rigged out of the box, ready to go with a nice little treble underneath and a single hook coming out the top. So pre-rigged, ready to go out of the box, just tie a line on and start casting. Now, because of the hook setup on this, I'm probably not gonna use it in really thick cover. I'm probably gonna be looking for rocky edges or laydowns, somewhere a bit more open where I can run this lure along the edge of something. You know, along the edge of a rock wall, along the edge of that fallen timber is gonna be a perfect place to fish this. Fish it nice and slow because that big paddle tail on the back is gonna do all the action for you. And even at a slow retrieve is still gonna be working its magic. And I'm gonna want this to be very close to the bottom because in the cold, these fish get quite lethargic. If there's a nice sunny day, they can come up shallower to sun themselves a bit, but a lot of the time I'm gonna be looking for that structure that's not too messy and not too tight. If you're fishing deeper waters or maybe doing some trolling, then you might look at one of the next two options here. The deep one out of the two, I've gotten one of these and I've fished with one of these before and these are dynamite. I absolutely love them. So this is the Panacea Marauder Shad. So this is like, think of a little brim chubby, but on steroids. It is huge. This is a big chubby lure made for big fish. Huge bib on the front. So it's gonna dive down deep and it dives down quickly. It's got a little lead ball right on the tip of the bib, which actually helps protect the bib as it's bouncing over structure, but pulls the nose of the bib down, allowing it to catch more water and get down faster. Which means it's also gonna be great for casting up into those snags as well. Not just trolling behind you, but you can cast with it too. So once again, looking for laydowns, looking for timber, looking for rocks, cast past it, work the lure deep along the side of that structure. If you're fishing shallower waters though, that's where the next one is gonna be popular. This is already a super popular bait within the cod community, and I was quite excited when I saw this in the box. This is from our Japanese friends at Mega Bass. This is the Big M 4.0. And the finish on these is absolutely magical. It's second to none, honestly. This is a 126 mil lure, so it is a very big bibbed lure, but perfect size for big cod, especially in the winter time when you want to be throwing those bigger baits. The finish on these, like I said, is immaculate, but very shiny. So it's gonna give you a lot of flash in the water, so it'll also be a great option in the dirty water too. It's not gonna dive as deep as the Marauder that we previously looked at. So I'm gonna fish this shallower, maybe after I fish the Spit and Wah. Still early morning, but not sort of when you're gonna be chasing those surface strikes. You can troll with this as well. Probably in the shallower waters, probably around 4 to 5 meters is what you're looking at for this one because your Marauder is going to dive 9-10 meters plus. It's a super deep diver, while this one's sort of your mid-range at that 4 to 5 meters, so you can still troll with it. I'm not big on trolling myself. It is a great way to fish, but for me, I like to cast and retrieve, so I'm going to be working this along river edges until cod season closes, of course. Then if you're in a dam, then you're going to be looking for the vertical trees or the laydowns or the rocky outcrops that probably have a fairly steep drop to them will be great. Even on the big flats, if you've got some weed, maybe like 5 meter deep flats and they're weedy, this thing's going to dive about 4 meters on the retrieve, which means you can swim this just over top of those weeds, waiting for that ambushing big hungry cod that's sitting in there ready to strike. Now I've also got some extra jig heads in here for your power bait plastic, or if you're a regular subscriber to the COD box, you've got many big plastics in your boxes before, so we're going to restock you up with some quality heavy duty jig heads here. So these are at 10.6 gram or at 3/8 of an ounce with a 6.0 hook. So these should be plenty big enough and plenty heavy enough for the larger plastics that you own already or have previously gotten in your box. And that's it for the COD box this month. A lot of big juicy stuff in here. Awesome box. Mega bass, super expensive lure. So awesome to get this in a cheap little tackle club box. So that is awesome. You got your surface, you got your plastic, and then 2 hard body options here. So if you want to check out the COD box or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.